Hello and welcome to Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And today, Dave and I will be discussing past, present, and future games. Past is a game that we return to. Present is games that we're trying. And new to... Is it both of us? No, you played one of the games already.
Yeah. New to...
New to me.
Yeah.
Well, they're all new to me.
New to us experiencing them together. How about that?
Well, they're all new to us experiencing.
New to our journey.
New to the Dice Jester journey.
Sure.
And then future is hopes or ones that we would like to play or ones that are coming out. So to start it off, we are starting off strong with Carcassonne. And the reason I say strong is because I had so many mixed emotions when we were playing the 10 rounds of Carcassonne. I went through, I think, every emotion.
Yeah.
that it took. So Carcassonne is a tile laying game, and you could either use... Did the tower come with the main game?
No, it didn't.
Oh, okay. So
it
you
was
mean...
with the expansion, the tower.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh! That makes a lot of sense.
That explains so much.
That explains a lot. Wow, okay. So you can either put all the tiles into the bag and then lay them down, or you can put them into the tile expansion tower.
Ironically, the bag came with an expansion too.
What? Then what do you do with them?
At least this is the old version, because I have the old Z-Man version. It may be different now, but with the original game, you just had to stack the tiles on the table, and then with the Cathedrals expansion, you got the bag, and that was a game changer. And then the tower brought in the tower. And now I'm not really quite sure what I prefer. I go back and forth between the bag and the tower, but never just stacking them on the table.
Yeah, I'm the same way too, because I like the tower, but then I feel obligated to take from my side, whatever side's closer to me, and then I like the bag, but the last round we had played of it, I wasn't the fondest of it because we had put every expansion you owned in that bag.
And so version.
The bag, we played the extreme version. So the bag wasn't big enough to have it, so you kind of picked off the top until the bag was big enough to shuffle them.
Yeah, I like the feeling of shuffling it around before I grab my tile.
Me too, because then I feel like I'm choosing the tile.
Yes.
Or it's more like the tile's choosing me.
And for the record, I choose from whatever size of the tower feels right. It can be your side, it can be my side, whatever tile speaks to me. Yeah.
Oh, I just chose from my side.
I go off of good vibes.
Why don't you give me insider knowledge?
Well, it's just how it goes.
And then, okay, you have the Princess and the Dragon expansion, right?
Yeah.
And then the Tower expansion, and then was the pig part of the game?
No, that is Traders and Builders.
Yeah, so we did all of those at one time as our last round, and that was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
So in the initial 10x10, we played the base, which I was enthused with because it was my first time playing. I didn't really have anything else behind it. But then after playing it 10 times in a row, it became dry for me. Then we played it a few more times, and after not playing it for a little bit, and I was just like, wait, no, I see why people like this game. I like it too. And then we just played it a few more times, and that last round with all of the expansions, I was like, what? Okay. It was so funny. I was using the towers to take away your meeples, and then the dragon was going around the map that we had made, and it made me laugh so hard because I would force you to take your own meeple, and I feel like that was more satisfying to me, but more dissatisfying to you. Yeah. Because you had to return your own meeple back to your hand. Because the dragon fell onto the tile.
Oh, that dragon. I've only actually played with a dragon expansion a few times in my life. The Instant Cathedrals, which we played with, is almost always in the game. It doesn't make sense to not have it. And then Traders and Builders is hit or miss. But yeah, with our initial 10x10, I don't remember how many times, maybe it was about 5 plays in, that we started mixing in the expansions. I remember thinking, wow, this is maybe the, 4th or 5th game that we've played. And I had high hopes for showing this game to you because, as I mentioned, this was one of the original games that I picked up when I was first exploring the board gaming hobby. And I really enjoyed it back then. And I've enjoyed it over the years, playing it from time to time. And so I thought, wow, we're going to have so much fun. Especially the 2-player game, how cutthroat it can get. And then it just kind of fell flat. I wouldn't say it was terrible, but we just got through all 10 plays maybe in a day.
Yeah.
And then I just had a feeling we would never come back to it, honestly.
I genuinely felt that way. And then I was talking to somebody and they were like, no, Carcassonne's one of my favorite games. And I was like, how? You just get road after road. And then they said, oh, just give it a break and play it again. And then we did. And I was like, oh. Okay. I think it was really, because I remember when we were doing that, we wanted to get it done, especially because we had a weekend where we couldn't play games because we had other obligations to take care of. And so, like, if you're okay with staying up, I'm okay with staying up.
Yeah.
Let's just get this out of the way. And then we did, and by that round, I was exhausted. I wanted to go to sleep, and I was blaming everything on the game. And setting it up took forever because we didn't just scramble it on the table. We were setting it up in the tower.
Right.
So then we were scrambling it on the table and then putting it in the tower, and putting it in the tower is a little bit finicky.
We're also playing on a bigger table this time around, too, which
really?
gives a little bit more space, but with all these expansions, I almost think we need to go to the floor at this point.
Lupin will need some meeples then, so he can play with us if we're on the floor. Well, he did jump on the table when we were playing it, so.
So what do you think changed between then and now? Because you really enjoyed, we played it a few times recently, and you seem to enjoy it a lot more. What do you think has changed?
I really think it's just because we did all 10 games in a day. Because remember, we played 2 more, maybe 4 days later, and I liked it more. I was like, oh, huh. No, and I like it this time around, too, because now it's comedic to me.
Yeah.
Because every time you get a road, I can always tell in your eyes, you're just like, road. You're like, ah. Anytime I really want to mess up what you're doing, like, that's exciting. Like, I didn't realize that initially. Initially, I thought it was just build a city and get points. And then as we played more, that's when I started realizing, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I could be messing up his city. Yeah. I could be messing up so many things. I could mess up his roads. I could mess up his farms.
Well, you can actually use the roads too to manipulate the shape of the fields so that if one person's trying to build this massive field, you can put in roads to mess them up, or have a road that curves into a city that somebody is trying to complete. You just know they're not going to be able to finish it. But then sometimes the roads get long and you think, you know, you can get a lot of points if you get a meeple down on that. But I do think that the Inns and Cathedrals expansion makes the roads more exciting, because if you get a road with an inn, each tile's worth 2 points rather than 1. But if you don't finish the road, it's worth 0 points. Mm-hmm. So it makes them a little more enticing.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. I liked when it became more competitive.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that at first because I thought it was a very surface level, easy, like, just lay the tile down and decide what you want to do with your meeple and move on. And once I realized, no, you can strategize and do this and that, that I was really excited, and now I like this game. And I still stick with the keep it to play option.
You're so cutthroat with this too. It's funny to see how much you can completely mess me over. Mm-hmm. Every single time I start to build something, you either build into my city and take it over, or you find a way to get the meeple off the board with the tower or the dragon.
Yes. The towers were my best friends. At first, I didn't like the towers, but then this time around, I liked them.
Yes. I think this is one of those games. I think with the 10x10 challenge, we're playing games back to back to back to back to back. And I think for most people, when they do a 10x10 challenge, it's over the span of a whole year, and they mix them all together. They might play Carcassonne a few times, and then they'll play Dominion a few times. But by the end of the year, they're trying to get 10 plays of each. But whereas we are playing each game 10 times, moving on to the next, playing it 10 times, moving on. And I think Carcassonne isn't a game that I really want to play that many times in a row. It's like every few months, we'll get it out and have a good time. Because the rules are simple enough to where you don't really have to go back and reread the rules. You can just throw it down on the table and have fun. Mm-hmm. And I think that the more expansions you add to this, and I'm not one to convolute my games. I like to keep them simple, don't add a lot of rules. But it almost becomes a joke with how much there is going on for Carcassonne. We have the towers that we're building up to take people off the board. This dragon that's moving around. We have the Inns and Cathedrals. Oh, I threw down a cathedral and you may not be able to complete that city now. And the traders and builders with getting the pig out, or the builder, or getting the different tokens when you complete somebody else's city. It becomes almost a joke with how massive of a game it becomes, where it I don't know how long our last play is with all the expansions, but it's probably over an hour, which for a light game like Carcassonne is not something I really typically enjoy. Mm-hmm. But knowing that it takes a whole evening of this epic journey of filling in the whole table with all these tiles, having all the meeple out there, it's just fun. I like this game a lot.
I remember really liked it so much. The last game too, because I was trying to beat my high score, and with all of the different aspects of the game, I was collecting points, and then I was almost at 300, and I like sighed even though you were sitting there like at 200, and you were like, what are you sighing about? And I'm like, I didn't reach 300, and then you were like, we need to count these still, and then that was 10, which I needed, and then I reached 300, I was like, yes!
That was wild. I can't believe you got to 300 points.
I never scored so high in a obviously, but I never scored so high in a board game before.
Is there a certain expansion that you like the most out of all the variants that we've played with?
It's so funny because when we were playing the tower the first time, I did not like it. I didn't like it one bit. But now that I understand the tower, it's my favorite.
Really?
Yes, because I could take your meeple out wherever they are.
Yeah.
I could get them.
And I like that you can cap the tower out as your turn.
I did not
But then you get the meeple. You get the meeple that is locked on the board at that point, but then it prevents somebody from using that tower to take meeple off your city. I thought it was cool that the dragon, if you move it through a tile, and this isn't in the rules or anything, but I looked it up on BGG, that a lot of people play where the dragon can actually take a meeple off the tower. So it just has this... I didn't
know that. I would have done that.
Chaotic Carcassonne, I'll call it that. It's our variant with all the expansions. It's so much fun.
It is. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I really like the traders and builders because I love when I complete your city, I can get all the stuff, which I know you really dislike. You really hate it.
Like, why did you do that? Those were my barrels, especially because I had like 10 pieces going on over here.
Yeah.
And so you got 4 barrels from my city. You got wheat with it too.
I also love the more expansions you add, they all have unique shaped cities and roads and things. So you might think, wow, I am locked in the city. There's no way I could possibly complete it. And then you draw this crazy formulated tile that has this weird design that fits just right. And you think, wow, I pulled it off. It was awesome. Against all odds, I still made it happen. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. This is still a keep it to play, obviously, from me as well.
It is a keep it to play. So, moving on, why don't you talk about sea salt and paper?
Yeah, I was really excited to try this, and we were at a board game cafe, saw it on the shelf, and you picked it up. I like the artwork. It has this origami art. Yeah. And this is a set collection game where I've heard a lot about this game. It had been on my radar for a while to try out because I like those light, simple games. And basically, it's a game where you are trying to get the most points by collecting cards of certain sets, but also when you draw cards, you can play them if you have 2 of the matching type in order to do certain actions. But the really unique part about the game is that once you have 7 points in your hand or in front of you, you can call the end of the round. And then at that point, you reveal your cards, and you have to bet whether or not your score will beat the other person after everybody takes one more turn.
Yeah.
And if you're right, if you do beat the other person or players, if you're playing multiple people, you get bonuses for your colors as well as the points in your card. But if you're wrong, you only score the, I think, color bonus, but then the other player gets to score the points in their card. But it just adds a little bit of an interesting take on the game where you have to watch the other person and really try to guess whether or not they're doing better than you. But I don't know, I really like this game. I thought it was fun, lightweight. I love the art. I love the different colors. And the only negative thing about the game after playing it is this one that the game ends where you reach a certain number of points. For 2 players, I think it was 40 points. And it took us a few rounds of playing it to get to that point. And it almost seemed like the game dragged on just a little bit too much for my preference for a game of this weight. I think maybe if it was just a set number of rounds or turns or something, I would have preferred that. But that was my take on Sea Salt and Paper. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind playing it again sometime. What did you think?
I liked it because it was easy to learn for me because we had played Pralaya during our spooky season.
Yeah.
So when you were explaining the rules for it, I liked it and it was easy to catch on. So when we were going through it, and I got the mermaid, and you know how you could steal each other's cards? I would always look at your eyes when I was like looking for...
What?
Yeah! No, I would look at your eyes because your eyes would twitch if it was a card you didn't want me to take.
Stop.
So I remember we saw the mermaid in one of the 2 piles, and you took it, and then you shuffled your cards because you saw that I saw that you where you placed it, right? And I knew you had the mermaid, so then I got the cards to then be able to take a card from you. And I put my finger like on each of the card, and I stared at your eyes while I was doing it, and your eye twitched, and I was like, ooh, yes.
Are you a secret CIA agent? Are you gonna hook me up to a polygraph test?
Maybe. We don't have to reveal that. You know that? No, I'm kidding. I don't know. So I liked that, and the art was super appealing. It was really fun, and I really liked that it was literally card size. It was the very simple, normal 52 card size-esque, right? It was maybe a little
really
bigger.
Small box.
Right, so you could take it anywhere. We could honestly take it by the ocean.
Take it to the sea.
Yeah, take it to the sea. And then I like that aspect of it, so I liked it. It was fun. I like the being able to be competitive with one another instead of just playing. Because for Pralaya, there wasn't really competition with one another. It was just racing off the island. This one had a little bit more back and forth in a way, because you could collect cards to do actions.
Right, or intentionally take a card that you know the other person needed.
Just like the other game that we have played, which was Sushi Go.
Oh, okay.
I was so excited.
Why were you excited? Let me guess. Can I take a wild guess? Was it the artwork?
Yes. But I was so excited, and then I was slightly let down.
This.
So
let down?
Yeah, slightly.
I'm let down by your let down.
So I remember when you first introduced board games to me, and we would go to board game stores, board game cafes, there would be Sushi Go, and I was always just drawn by the artwork because it was so
it's so
cute.
you
It's
so
so
you.
Me. Like, it's literally my art style and everything. It's so cute. And
the anthropomorphized
yeah, like
sushi.
and then you looked at my cookbook one day, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, did
we
you
talk about that?
No, we're not talking about it." And you were like, "Did you draw these?" Yeah. You were like, "Is that a burger with a cat face?" So yes, dude.
They're all beautifully colored. Your handwriting is impeccable, and I love your color choices. Your pen collection. Oh, it's just so Julie. I love it.
You're like, "Is that a shrimp smiling?"
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, my shrimp literally looks like one of the ones in Sushi Go, now that I'm thinking about it. But every time we went to a board game cafe, board game store, you would say, "Oh, pick out a game." And I would always say, "Dave, I want to do Sushi Go." And you'd be like, I don't know.
It's not the best game for 2 players. I'll say that up front.
And you kept telling me that. Kept saying it. And then I cornered you when we were at the board gaming cafe.
Can I be honest?
What?
When I sent you to go pick out a game and you came back with Sushi Go, I was ever so slightly disappointed.
I was so excited that you sent me because I knew that's what I did. Because I saw
that was your calling.
Yes, I saw it, and even the person that handed it to me from the library looked at me, and they were like, "Oh, I'm surprised we still have this." And I was like, "Why did they say that?" But so I happily, joyfully skipped towards the table, and then I put it down. And I was like, "Look, we're gonna play it," and you were like, "Oh, yay!" And
hey, any game with you is fun.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
And so it's similar to Sea Salt and Paper and Pralaya, where you're trying to collect, what is it called?
Sets.
Sets, yeah. So you try to collect sets. And there's other cards in the set that give you bonuses and whatnot. And you pass them back and forth between players, right?
Just like Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. Huh. I didn't connect that, but yeah.
No memorable
Sushi Go is. So when we were playing it, and then after we got done playing it, I then understood. And in my mind, I didn't say this out loud. I'm saying this out loud for the first time on record. But you were right. You were right that it would be more fun if there was more players.
Yeah.
And that explains, every time I asked, it explains why you held off on it, because I knew the cards that I handed you, and I knew your cards, and so I was just kind of waiting for that card to come back to me.
Exactly.
Well, if we had more players, it would be harder to guess what cards are coming back to you, or what hand, and this and that, and you'll kind of forget the hand that you give, and vice versa. So I do think that this game would be better with 3 to 5, but I think it'd be better with 4 to 5, in all honesty, because
with more players, this is more fun.
Yeah, because still with 3, I think I could remember whose hand is whose. And
I've played it with 4 to 5, and honestly, it's fun just taking risks on whether or not certain cards will come around, and then when you find a hand with the right cards, it's really exciting. And it's so fast too. With more players, it doesn't really increase the play time at all. It's still fun.
Yeah, and with 2 players, I got to see what you were going for, so I just went for the opposite, so you wouldn't take what I took.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You could tell the game was popular, though. It is a really popular game, but it was so
used.
worn out, and that's maybe why the person was surprised that they still had it, just by how many times it had been used.
Like, some things were faded on it. So.
Which is crazy. I've never had a game that was that worn out.
They also knew that it was I was only playing with 2 people.
Oh,
like me and you.
Right.
Because when I had gone up there, they were like asking questions, and I was like, oh, I know what game I want. And they were like, oh, okay, which one? So it was like, But yes. So I say that I can't say that we should go get it or we shouldn't get it, because I would need to play with more people.
Well, I actually have the game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You do.
But it's currently at my parents' house, I think, because I've played with them. I just left it there. Because this is perfect for that kind of environment, family get-togethers and so forth. So I have it at their place. If we go there, we can play with my parents maybe sometime.
That's the one we should play for, like holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that one's easy.
Yeah, exactly. I would have fun doing that. So I enjoy Sushi Go. It's one of those, just if it's offered, I'll always play it.
It's very easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another plus, the case is small. You can take it anywhere. That's what we should do. We should be those people who go there, like to different places, and we bring the game, and we go, you want to play with us? And then we can make friends.
Oh, to like a board game cafe?
Yeah, no, to like public.
Oh, public, like
public.
Parks?
Okay, not parks.
Buses?
No, Dave. No.
We approach people in a dark alleyway. Hello.
You want
to play a game?
No.
This place is weird. Get me out of here.
Okay, fine. We'll just go to board game places.
We can go anywhere.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. We go to coffee shops, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I meant. Gosh.
Oh, that's so fun. I love that idea.
Okay.
So then, the next game we played, which was a game we played this evening. This one...
Oh, my goodness. I was like, what are you talking about?
I was really excited to show you this game.
You were very excited to show me this game.
Because there aren't too many games out there with this theme. And it's a Christmas-themed game. Holly Jolly.
Yes.
This is a game, obviously, play about once a year. I honestly thought that you would enjoy it, though. And it is... Wow, all of our games are set collection games. This is another set collection game.
They're all set collection games. I just realized that.
With the Christmas tree and there's presents, and you're basically... This is a game where you're collecting ornaments from a Christmas tree that the more you collect of certain types, it gives you more points, or it lets you take presents from under the tree, which give you bonuses. It's just a lot of collecting things, but the way it's set up, I think is really interesting, and you basically, on your turn, will take either a tinsel or a Christmas light card.
Or a candy cane.
Yeah. And you cover a card up, of which there are 3, and whatever type of card you place, you will count up the point value of all the cards of that type, and then based on that point value, you have to pick an ornament of that same point value, and if there's not a matching card for you to take, then that's when you take a present from under the tree.
Yes.
That sounded more complicated than the game it really is. It's pretty quick moving. I've played a lot of these set collection games that we've talked about, and there's just something about this one that's just delightful. It's just, I like the covering of cards, of adding up the point value, of trying to collect certain things, the feeling of I'm collecting presents from under the tree, and some of them have a nostalgic look. It has this art style that reminds me of maybe like 1970s Christmas movies or something, or just from that era.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But my sister had a Christmas tree that had ornaments that looked exactly like those things. And every year we fought over the airplane because the propellers span. Like, we would flick it and it would spin.
Yeah.
So every year we were like, it's mine, it's mine.
And my favorite, I can't remember, I got this from the 25th Century Games website, and they threw in a few promos with it.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them, I can't remember if this is a promo or not, but Krampus is in the game too, and I think that's really awesome.
I never got him.
I know. Well, you don't want to, because it actually gives you -2 points at the end of the game.
And then I'm going to multiply it by 2 with the rocking horse.
That was fun. We put on some good music and just enjoyed this. This is a game where I think the amount of times per year to play it is just right. Around the holiday season, get it out and play it, and then have a good time and put it away, and then play it again the year after.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I know, that's shocking, because I was being a Grinch. But
you were.
I liked that it was the shape of a tree.
Yeah.
And it had the star at the top, and the presents and stockings were at the bottom. I thought that was so cute. And honestly, playing it, you're going to laugh, because the whole time I was telling you how much of a Grinch I was. But it kind of sparked some Christmas joy.
I felt that. When you flipped over the sugar cookie card and you got all excited like you wanted to decorate Christmas cookies.
I was like, oh, the sugar cookie. It's because, okay, so when I was younger, I had a step grandma who was a baker, and she would always make a whole bunch of cookies. Like, a whole bunch. I mean, like, there had to have been thousands.
Thousands.
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
She made sugar cookies. She made peanut butter cookies. She made the ones that you deep fry. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're so good.
Is that a Wisconsin thing?
Good. No, they're not a Wisconsin thing. They look like a wheel, and you make the batter. You put the wheel, I don't know, cookie cutter thing, into the batter, and then you move it into the frying pan, and it fries the cookie crisp, and then you take it out and put it on a paper towel. And that stuff is so good. And you put powdered sugar on it. So good.
It sounds good.
It's so good.
Give me
she
a
made
sweet
those.
tooth right
She made peanut squares. Like, literally, she made every cookie. Oh, yes.
She sounds awesome.
She made these toffee cookies that were absolutely amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah, she taught me how to make those, but she always said, "Oh, use my bad pan because it's hard to clean the toffee off once it cures and everything."
What's your favorite kind of cookie?
I like. Well, what do you mean? Like, in general?
In general, yeah.
Oh, I like sugar cookies. But I don't like the sugar cookies that you get from Walmart where it's like cake. I don't think those are sugar cookies. I think there's shortbread cookies. Those are shortbread cookies with all the frosting on top. It tastes too sugary for me. I
love all the frosting.
Why don't you just have a spoonful of sugar?
I would.
Ew. But
if it weren't frowned upon.
You can have some. You can eat it. Go ahead. But I like the cookies that have like the icing. Those sugar cookies. So they're more like shortbread cookies or something. I don't know. I know what they look like. And that's fine. But yeah, the sugar cookies got me. So it was very cute. It was cute. Good for the holiday season.
Is this one you'd like to keep?
Yeah,
Is that
I
you're
can
saying?
keep it.
All right.
We were playing in the dark too.
We were.
It was
and we had some red and green lights going on.
We did. Honestly, you can get some hot cocoa going, sit by the fireplace. I mean, you're not starting a fire here because we have Lupin, but, other people can start fires.
You know what we should do every year? I've always wanted to do this.
Okay.
Here in Oregon, there is a Polar Express train that goes to Mount Hood.
What?
And it's this whole Christmas dinner experience.
Stop.
I've always wanted to do that.
Okay, why don't we do it?
We should do it and then bring Holly Jolly and play a game on the train. That'd be so fun.
Aww. You're so adorable. That's so cute. Is it all December?
I believe so. Yeah, it's probably going on right now.
Well,
What are we doing here?
What are we doing?
Let's take this
We're
to the train.
talking about games so we can go on a train.
Would it be wild to record a podcast episode on a train full of people?
It would
we
be
get
wild.
weird looks.
I would feel
and we're just talking about board games.
I would feel like I'm interrupting everybody's day.
We're just here trying to enjoy our family evening.
Yeah, and you're over here.
Just people yapping about board games. It's all good.
Yeah, so I liked Holly Jolly.
Yeah, me too. I would say out of our games on this list that were new to us, this one's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I would say so too. That it would be that, and then Sea Salt and Paper, and then Sushi Go.
Yeah.
But speaking of doing an event, like going on a train and having dinner and playing a game, it reminds me of the the meadery we went to.
Oh.
So we had gone there. We had been wanting to go, and one night you and I just decided, yeah, why not? And when we had gone, we weren't expecting what was there, I guess.
I had no expectations.
Yeah, I had no expectations. So when we entered, we both were amazed. We walked in and we were just like, wow, this place looks like the perfect D&D place, even though we don't play D&D because we don't have enough people. But it had a really nice atmosphere. It had a leather shop. It was very board game oriented, and it had mead that you could purchase, and it had cheese for $1.
A slice of cheese for the weary traveler.
I love that. And then we had second breakfast, which was
so good.
I literally, that place was, if you took my brain and I guess your brain too, it just made a place. It was so perfect.
It was all of the, if I could put together Ren Fair mixed with board gaming, mixed with fantasy and everything nerdy.
Yes, and the music they had.
The music. Oh, it was just
top
a feeling.
Notch.
You know, you get that feeling when you walk into it, when we walk into a place, and it's just this glow that we get. Like, oh, we found the perfect place for us. This is honestly probably one of my favorite places we've been together. It's my
favorite places too, and I love that the person that was there was just like, "Oh, bye, friends." I was like, "Oh."
I love the tasting of the mead that we got.
Yeah,
it was so good.
It was so cool, and the reason I bring that up is because that atmosphere got me in the mood to play Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Yes,
and I found out about it through you, but it went over my head when you discussed it. But somebody else had brought it up to me, and I was like, oh, Dave has been telling me this for so long, and I just it hasn't clicked. And then you took out the board game to show me recently, and I was like, yes, that would be the perfect game to go there. Yes. Yeah, we need to go back with that game.
Yes.
So we can play it.
I would absolutely.
I don't know when, but yes.
But it'll happen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can get that game on a next 10x10 list.
Oh, is it a bigger game?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's plenty going on.
We can play all time there.
Yeah. In one day.
They're like, okay, you guys gotta go. Yeah.
We're trying to close up. Just one more game, please.
We're like, we just have
You want to play with us?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
What would be a game that you would want to play in the future?
Yeah, this is really interesting because this is actually a game that I have. It's not one that is soon to be released or anything. It's a game well known that plenty of people have played. It's been sitting on my, I'll call it shelf of opportunity. A lot of people say shelf of shame, but I think that has negative connotations.
Shelf of opportunity.
Yeah.
You are the type of person that thinks of a glass half full.
Absolutely. Of adventures yet to come. Okay. I'll call it that. It's Lost Ruins of Arnak. And I think we would love this game. Based on everything I know about it, it's sitting right behind you. And it has this archaeology theme. It has this fantasy world where there's monsters and stuff. And anything that is archaeology, which is, by the way, I studied anthropology in college. I'm an archaeology, anthropology nerd. I love history and all that. I love watching the Discovery Channel and all those shows. But if there's archaeology or history, but mixed with some kind of fantasy world, that idea really appeals to me. If there were aliens in this game, that would be even better.
This isn't the dice game?
No.
The game where you try to escape and it has the scary music that gives me a heart attack.
That's Escape Curse of the Temple.
Oh.
It's a different game.
Oh,
this is a competitive game, and it is so think deck building like Dominion. Mm-hmm. But it's mixed with worker placement, which is like Targi. Mm-hmm. And you mix those two things. So you have a deck of cards that you get to use in order to do things more on a board. And there's all kinds of bonuses and cool, exciting things going on. So the artwork is really cool. I really think that we're going to love this game. And this is another game I want to get on maybe our next 10x10 for sure.
I love how you're like, I'm just going to
create our 10x10 now.
I feel like I'm creating the next 10x10 already.
I think what I should do is I should not tell you what the games are, but maybe create some kind of I'm going to try to sell you on this game without telling you what it is and write some kind of creative description.
You're taking away the whole art thing. You're like, Julie, I'm not allowing you to pick something off of that art because you're just going to pick it because you think it's cute, like Sushi Go.
But I'll pick games, but I'll try to sell you on them and tell you something about the game, but I won't just show you the game because some games look not as appealing. If I were to show you Castles of Burgundy, that might not be a game that you would be super excited about. I'll be completely honest, but we're about to play that for a 10 by 10, and I think that you're going to really like the game. You have no choice. I'm going to show it to you anyway. But if I were to line up...
I always have a choice, Dave.
What I'm trying to say is if I were to line up games and you were to pick based on the art, Castles of Burgundy would probably be one of your last picks, if I had to guess. But I think it might be one of your favorites, just based on things that I know that you enjoy. So, anyway.
I think it's going to be my favorite because I'm going to take your self-proclaimed crown.
You're obsessed.
I'm obsessed with winning.
With knocking me down from my near perfect winning streak with Castles of Burgundy.
I'm going to make your winning streak lessen.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm excited for that. And
I'm excited
thank
too.
you for playing these games with me, revisiting Carcassonne, playing some new ones, and then some ones that we're excited about in the future, and taking the journey to that meadery as well. It was so much fun.
Yeah, this whole experience has been really fun, and honestly, I love I would call it like the hard level at Carcassonne because it had all this shit.
Yeah.
It's like the party edition.
The nightmare mode.
Yes, I like that a lot. And so yeah, I loved our little experiences that we've had throughout the few weeks doing this. Of
course.
So, and thank you for listening to us this week. Be sure to join us this week to see if I do take Dave's crown for Castles of Burgundy, which I'm pretty sure I will. If you would like to contact us at all or send us any questions you may have, feel free to reach out to us through Instagram under Dice Jesters, or you can also email us. Our email is thedicejesters@gmail.com. We're also on Patreon, and our Patreon shows the different episode art, bloopers. You can find Lupin's song there, which makes me laugh every single time, but it is there. And our Patreon is Dice Jesters. We are also on YouTube as well. And as the final roll echoes through the night, the Dice Jesters vanish from sight. With laughter fading, shadows blend. Until next time, dear friends.